Hi, how's everyone? I hope I find you all well. Thank you for returning, and hello if you are new. I've got a collective read for you tonight or today, whenever this uploads. I've got the moon reading next, and I might do another love reading with the fairies. You know, I hate the love readings, but I really enjoyed working with the fairies again. So we might just try to reintegrate that deck if they can behave. They do get unruly. Um, I didn't want to do any of the astrology this time because I've done the astrology for the in the past couple days. Um, we've got the moon going into Leo. I think it is in Leo already, but I'll do that one for later. Mars is still retrograde in Cancer. The heavy hitters, those outer planets are slow movers, so they can spend weeks or months in one sign. And then we just end up doing Mercury, Venus, and Mars, or the moon. So we got a collective read today. We're using the First Light Tarot, the Celtic Lenormand, and the Rider-Waite that I named Oda-Mae. So remember, not all messages will resonate for every person, so leave what doesn't resonate now, but keep it in mind because it might make sense at a later time. You are all at different points in the timelines. Like I say, I can read the script, but I can't tell you which individual character you all play, nor where you choose to stand on the stage, whether you're involved or you're an observer. I can only read the energies. So for the First Light Tarot, I I went there's some cards in this deck that are not arcana or oracle cards. They're more like question cards. And so I drew from them, and we've got who may help, when, and the future. Under who may help, we dropped the Knight of Wands. And this is somebody who's courageous, independent, lively, and charming, and self determined. So this is Sagittarius energy. No, it's Leo energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So this is either any of the fire signs. This could be a person with fire signs in their chart. This could be you, the viewer, and your energy in who may help, and or it could be just energies in the collective that are at play. You have to look in your chart to see where your fire energy is and what areas of life that those are affecting. If you want to take a look at your chart, I do chart interpretations. My first discipline is astrology, and I picked up tarot later on. So if you'd like to look at your chart, I am available. My details are in the description. Who may help? This is a fire sign: Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, possibly a Leo. Knight of Wands, coming in hot, coming in determined, coming in energetic and optimistic. I will say, I don't think this is an Aries, simply because Aries' ruling planet Mars is in retrograde right now in Cancer, which means he's kind of asleep. So the active, passionate, fighting spirit here is retrograded. It's reserved. It's pulled back. So there's energy in the collective that is negated. This may play out in us feeling kind of powerless in some areas, or the feeling that the energy isn't conducive to us manifesting anything. So I don't give this to Aries. Leo, however, the sun is now in Aquarius. Aquarius is the rebellious, innovative sign of the humanitarian. So who may help? This may be someone who is a Leo or Sagittarius, or that aspect in the chart, fiery energy, somebody who is courageous, independent, lively, charming, and self determined. So if this is you or your energy and you're in a position to help, you're coming in like a savior. Some energy is coming in like a savior. When I asked for clarification, who may help, and we've got the Knight of Wands, and I asked in what area are they coming in to help, we dropped the card for emotion. So this is like attracts like, understand what you're feeling, and be positive, mindful, happiness, and control of self. That's interesting because the Knight of Wands is not much known for self control. On top of emotion, we got from the Celtic Lenormand, I asked for clarification in what area. What area is this Knight of Wands helping in the emotion, with emotion? And we got the Burial Mound card. This is something that is being put to rest. Okay. This says, what does this say? Oh, they're sincere. No, I can't read this word here. Oh, gosh. Sickness. Oh, sickness. Okay. Sickness, loss, mourning, death, release, finality, an end point, rest, laying something to rest, or burying the past, releasing obligation to dead beliefs. Wow. Okay, so the cards who may help in the area of something emotional, the Knight of Wands, for something that has to be put to rest or something that is ended, something that may be sad. I was going to say sorrowful. It was a loss, there was a death, there was a release, there was something final. This is an endpoint. It's the burial mound. So once you go in the tomb, once something dies and goes in the tomb, it's final, right? They're telling, they're showing me, because when I said that it's final, I heard them say, "Is it? Is it though?" And the only time where it isn't final is if we draw the judgment card, because judgment calls things up from the dead, from the past, things that are supposedly ended for us to review. But we don't have that. We don't have that energy here. It's not at the bottom of the decks. It's not anywhere near this energy right now. So this is something final. This is something that not yesterday, the day before, we got, I think it was the day before, in one of the most recent readings, we got poison, which means something toxic was in the situation. So this says to me that something was ended because it was toxic. And also because the burial mound card suggests sickness. So that's where the toxicity for me came from. I'm not um, outright saying that somebody who's sick and going to die, okay? But there was the feeling of this situation was sick, okay? It was toxic. It was poisonous. Something here had to go. Something had to end. And there was a lot of emotion about it. But the Knight of Wands energy I like because it's control. Especially with the emotion card, it's self-control. It's understanding what you're feeling about this ending. Emotion with the burial mound, like attracts like. So that part is talking about healing emotion and moving on and growing. So from whatever this was that was put to rest, somebody either has to remember or already had, like I said, I don't know where in the timeline this is, but there was a feeling of somebody really coming into their confidence in order to end something that had to go. There was a finality, there was an end point. This was toxic and it had to be put to rest. and there was emotion around it, but this person, this energy in the Knight of Wands energy was courageous about it and very self-determined to make sure that this ending happens, because I feel they knew that there was something much more healthy on the other side, especially with the card that says mindful happiness, and you attract what you attract what you vibe at, which is interesting because vibration is here on the bottom of the deck. There was resistance to this though, because also resistance is on the bottom of the deck. I'm not ready, I heard, but I have to be. I'm not ready, but I have to be. Then vibration and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of major arcana here. We've got justice, we've got resistance and vibration, and the Wheel of Fortune. Underneath that, the moon, and that plays in the next column here. We've got when. When will this happen? When did this happen? Okay. I say will or did because, again, the timeline is fluid for all of you. Some of you may have experienced this already. Some of you may just be coming up to it. Some of you, it might be in the future, or you're experiencing it right now. With the way the cards are laid, and with the when here in the middle, to me, sometimes the middle column is the present. The left column is the past, and the right column is the future. Where you are in this timeline, I'm not sure. So when we have the moon, so it had something to do with the moon. And then when I asked clarification, what about the moon, we dropped the Justice card. So I'm going to interpret this in two different ways. So we had when, and then the moon dropped. Okay, when? What about the moon? Right now the moon is in Leo. And with Justice here designating Libra, something about when the moon goes into Libra, which will be in about 6 days. Because it spends about 2 days each sign. So we're just in Leo, then it's got to go into Virgo, then it's got to go into Libra. So that's about 5 to 6 days. So maybe 5 to 7 days, okay, within the week. On top of Justice, we got the owls. Again, moon energy underneath the moon. There is something here where it's telling me, when will this happen? It'll happen when you reconcile with something that you've been hiding in the underneath. Okay, moon energy is the opposite of the sun. The sun shines light and clarity on the ego, on what we want others to see, on how we function in the daylight, our outer selves, our face. But the moon represents the shadow underneath. So the moon energy here is also self-deception and illusion. It doesn't necessarily have that negative connotation for me. It just, to me, means what we don't share outright with other people, what we keep inside, you know? It's our shadow selves. Owl energy is messages in that shadow. Okay, think of moon energy as nighttime energy. Okay, what you I don't know if anybody else feels it, but sometimes there's different feelings to different parts of the day. Like some people's favorite times between 9 and 12, 9 a.m. and 12. Some people, their favorite times are around between 3 and 7. Some people's favorite times, like me, I'm nocturnal, so my favorite time is between 10 p.m. and like 3 or 4 a.m., the nighttime. So it's because each period of the day has a different feel. And they're telling me that has to do with the energy that is prominent at those times. Daytime energy is sun energy, right? So that's what we are doing during the day. But nighttime energy, moon energy is what we attend to when all that shit is put aside. We clock out from that energy, and now we turn inward at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, we have to make decisions and bring balance. And they said justice too, bring justice to these underlying energies within ourselves, our dreams, our what they do say self-deception and illusion. So that to me means things that we don't want to face. And that makes sense because in the daylight, in the ego, in the sun, those are the things we are facing, right? But in the moon energy is stuff that we're like in the back of our mind, we go, not right now, not now. I can't think about that. That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing right now. Owl energy is messages in the nighttime, messages from the subconscious, messages from the higher self, things that can't get through the daylight because we have too much noise going on with ego stuff, work and kids and politics and money, and things we have to do and places we have to go and the dinner's got to be made, things daylight concerns. But in the shadow of the moon underneath, there's always the pot simmering in the background of the emotional things. And here with the owls, we have to bring justice to those things. We have to bring balance. We have to bring diplomacy and acknowledgement to those hidden messages. The owl card represents deep perception, keen observation, sensitivity, and messages from the higher self. So, when may this happen? When the moon is in Libra and we can deal with and bring some balance, justice, decisions, verdicts about what our higher selves needs are. Next column here, we've got a card for the future, and we have the Page of Cups in reverse. Page of Cups is very innocent energy. He's got the Ace of Cups in his hand, and he has dipped it into the waters of emotion. What he brings up is a fish, and he's talking to the fish. The fish is a representation of the things that are deep in the emotions, deep in the subconscious. And he brought one up and he's talking with it, which means we have to address the things that are in the underneath. Okay, right now we've got Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. And Pisces in the collective unconscious is our subconscious, how we interact with the spiritual world. And right now with Saturn, the taskmaster, with Neptune, the god of the deep. This collective is really addressing a lot of deep psychological things. This being in reverse, it's saying that it is low emotional investment. So, like I said before, when people are in the ego and they're like, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to have to think about this right now. So, in the future, there's going to be an energy of not dealing with that emotion. He's in reverse. So, what else does this say here? Loss of creativity, blockage of joy and creativity. See? Underneath that, when I asked for clarification about this, it said something. We've got the well-being card. It says accept guidance and enlightenment. Oh, there was another card we got recently that was all about enlightenment and guidance. Huh. So there's somebody who's blocking blocking talking to that inner space. Because remember, I described the Page of Cups as bringing the fish up from the depths. That's Neptune. That's Pisces energy. Neptune rules the deep ocean. And in the deep ocean of the subconscious, in those deep, dark, emotional areas that we don't like to venture, there are things down there that never see the light of day. They are never addressed by the ego. And those things down there feel very foreign, very dangerous. Sometimes it can feel suffocating down there. He's not dealing with it. So in the future, there's going to be an energy of people just not wanting to deal with that deep emotional issues. And it has to do with our well-being. This is accepting guidance and enlightenment. Somebody's going to not want to go in those depths to get that awareness. Or there's a blockage. Let me think about what's going on in the astrology if there's going to be a blockage. The only thing I can think of right now is like Mars retrograde, because we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, we've got Pluto in Aquarius, I think. We've got Lilith in Libra, the Sun in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. Oh, where's Jupiter? Jupiter's in Taurus. So right now it feels like, and everything is direct, nothing is retrograde except Mars. And again, like I said, Mars is that active energy of wanting to address something. And right now he's retrograde in Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon. That inner caring, that nurturing, that motherly energy, that protectiveness, the providing for things so that they can grow and be cared for. So there's neglect here. There's psychological neglect here. On top of that, we got from the Celtic Lenormand the card designating holly, which is it's not just a plant, but it's a parasite. It grows on other trees, but it represents healthy roots, endurance. It says cultivate good health. See hibernation, withdrawal, and weather adversity. Oh, that's interesting. We've got a really strong snowstorm coming up in my area. This feels like withdrawing and hibernating, right? So altogether, who may help this fire energy in order to put something to rest? But there has to be the dealing with something very deep in the emotions. And some in the collective are going to completely turn off from that and hide for their own well-being. Maybe it's too much. It might be too much for them to handle right now. They are aware of it. That's the thing. They are aware of it, but they're cold to it right now. That's crazy. Bottom of the decks, we've got Resistance. There's the Page of Cups in reverse. And the Holly, which, like, Holly comes in wintertime. Wintertime is a very frozen time. Things are still. Things are in suspended animation. Life kind of dwindles away so that it can recharge. But the energy at the time is that this feeling of well-being is very much stagnant and cold. The good thing about Holly is that even in that cold, dead energy, even in hibernation, even in that sleep, life is still there. Holly is very vibrant. It's green and red, and here it is on top of all the white of the snow in the wintertime. So people are in the energy of I heard I gotta let this sit. I've got to let this sit. Underneath, that's where we have the Resistance. Yeah. Because they're talking about having patience, finding middle ground, time for adjustment, getting prepared, and seeking answers. Okay. Underneath that, we've got vibration. This is don't scatter your energy. It says interact compassionately, especially with yourself. Vibe high and plan positive action. Underneath that, the Wheel of Fortune. Just keep spinning. This is divine timing. So this may be, and under that, again, the moon. So this may be like somebody feeling like they can't deal with it right now because the situation doesn't allow them to make the changes that they want to make yet. So they even know that this pause, this stagnation it's not in our control. It's frustrating, but it's not in our control. Underneath for the for the Rider-Waite, we've got Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Industrious and practical, responsible and generous. This is earth energy. I give it to Capricorn, but it can be Taurus or Virgo. We've got Jupiter in Taurus right now. Or is you? Wait a second. Let me double check. I might be wrong about that. Because now I'm thinking Uranus is in Taurus, but let me double check. Uranus might be in Taurus. Yeah, so where's Jupiter? Oh, Jupiter's in Gemini. Okay. So I like Uranus in Taurus, but it can go two ways. Uranus entered Taurus like around 2020, and that was right when we were going into the COVID lockdowns. Uranus rules Aquarius, and he is the sign of innovation. He's rebellious, he's eclectic, he's avant garde. He brings new ideas. He wants to buck the system. Taurus is a very traditional sign of house and home. And right around the COVID lockdowns, Taurus also rules money, how we make it and how we spend it. Also rules like commerce. Okay. Um, Even though Mercury really is in charge of like money movement, but Taurus energy is like earnings for the home and comfort of the home and our surroundings and our environment and how we make money and how we spend money. Uranus in Taurus was talking about innovative ways of making money from the home. And boy, didn't we experience that during the COVID lockdowns. People were figuring out how to make money from home. And it was really, I mean, I hate to say because we really did lose so many people to that illness, but for some people in the collective, we really had a window of what it would be like if we all worked from home. I mean, the air cleared up. Hudson Bay cleared up so much. Dolphins returned to it. Gas prices went down because barely anybody was using gasoline. Everything really started improving, and we got to see what society could be like if we could work from home, right? Queen of Pentacles. Underneath that, we've got the Victory card. The Six of Wands. Respect, personal victory, high regard, and accomplishment. I mean, right? We were making money not hand over fist. There was still bad things happening, of course. But in the Taurus arena, in the area of finances and the home and the environment and making money, wow, did that come out. Now, Uranus is still in Taurus. So we're still trying to find innovative ways in order to work from home and stuff. But I mean, we've got that outside influence of policy and politics forcing people to go back to work into an employment pool that is dwindling more and more. Underneath that, we've got the Six of Cups in reverse. And seeing as there's no other real love energy here, I'm going to read this as nostalgia being stuck in the past. We're longing for days that were sweet, but we're stuck in the nostalgia. And here we've got underneath that the Ten of Wands in reverse. Ten of Wands means the putting down of a burden, detrimental burden, but in reverse, it means we're overburdened and we need to delegate to other areas or other people the workload. That's what I got. Let's see. We'll go to the angel and oracle cards. I hope this is resonating. I hope the messages are reaching you for your highest good. If you are vibing with my content, please take a moment to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, share my videos. It helps the algorithm get my content seen. In the description, you'll find my email and donation links. I'm open for personal readings and birth chart inquiries. And for any small donation, I'd love to do you a 3-card spread as a thank you. Just you and me, either Facebook Messenger video chat, email, or a link like this that only you will receive. Email, Venmo, and Cash App are in my description, and I appreciate any and all feedback, signal boosts, or donations. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Can we get some angel and ancestor oracle messages for the collective, please? Dealing with issues of well-being that we can't actually address right now because something is stagnant, but it's underneath in the emotions, and we know we've got to bring justice to it. We've got to make a decision based on what our higher self is telling us. But right now, there's some in the collective that are cut off from that. Who may help? Fire energy coming in hot and wonderful with emotion about putting something to rest. Really? You want me to start over? Putting something to rest. They're telling me there's some in the collective that need to hear this from a relationship standpoint. Okay, let me switch gears real briefly. Again, with that toxic situation, somebody is putting a toxic situation to rest, but they're doing it with very confident emotions. They're saying this has to end because it's toxic, it's dead, I'm not putting in any more effort into this. I want to move on to attract something that is for me. I'm not doing this recklessly, even though we have the Knight of Wands here. He comes in kind of hot and heavy. It's not in reverse, so there's no recklessness here. This is just determination. Somebody coming in with self-control about putting this issue to rest. Okay, again with the moon in Libra, hang on. When they listen to their higher selves and decide to deal with themselves justly, deal with the situation justly, even though it might be painful to one or both. Justice as Libra energy is very cold air energy. It has to be, because it has to be unbiased. So sometimes the decisions that Libra brings in seem cold to people because it has to be fair, and fair isn't always wonderful for both sides. So there has to be a decision here that needs to be fair and just and balanced, even though it might not be pretty, right? But then again, like I said, the decision is going to be so difficult that somebody is not going to go into it quickly. They have a lot of thinking to do. They have a lot of considering to do. They have a lot of things that are in stasis right now. They can't address it. They can't deal with it. Their emotions aren't in it at the moment. But this knight is coming out of he wants to come in towards this Queen of Pentacles. This Queen of Pentacles, this Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy, because they see victory with this person. The victory card, Queen of Pentacles and victory behind it. And this knight is facing in this direction, going with a lot of gusto, a lot of passion, a lot of courage. Underneath that, it's because this is a connection from the past. That Six of Cups is a wonderful connection that may have started in childhood. It may have started very innocent. This is like the lovers as children. where the love is just pure and from source and wonderful feeling. And it was so good that they're now stuck on what this was like. So they're looking for it again. And underneath that, yeah, with that Ten of Wands in reverse, they're overburdened by this. They're overburdened by the idea that they need to put something to rest, but they don't have the emotional strength to face it right now. And they don't have anybody to put any of this burden on. They need to share it, and they don't have anyone to share it with. Underneath that, you've got the Ten of Pentacles. This may be financial burden that they need to shed before they can move on. But then again, I feel that some looking at this Queen of Pentacles, saying, if I can shed this burden, my Ten of Pentacles is with that queen from the past. That's where my victory is. But they can't move yet because they still have some very serious emotional decisions to make. And they're aware of it. We've got the well-being card here. Awareness, knowing, down to earth, common sense, accepting. Yeah, I accept that I need to do this. But the coldness of the holly making it very lifeless right now. With the Page of Cups in reverse, this is low emotional investment. So the angels and ancestor cards we have dropped here is the Arrow card. Surround yourself with protective energy, and the Elder. Move beyond ancestral patterns. So let's do the Arrow first. Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Surround yourself with positive people and experiences and environments that make you feel safe. Call on your angels, guides, and ancestors to bring you protection. It says if you are in a situation where you feel like everything is not everything is as clear as it seems, trust your intuition. Yeah, the owls. Trust the messages from your higher self. There are energies in your current situation that aren't fully aligned with your intentions and goals, or with kindness. So follow your intuition about whom to trust and what to trust. If you can take time to retreat, oh wow, retreat. What was I talking about? Page of Cups in reverse and the holly. If you can take time to retreat, where am I? Or to step out of the situation to assess what is going to be beneficial for you, do so. Do so. In any event, this is a time to call on the energy of protection and to place yourself in a space that feels safe. On top of that, we've got the Elder. Move beyond ancestral patterns. We have actually been dealing with this idea lately, and this is the second time the Elder card has come out recently. This is Taurus energy because it's tradition for tradition's sake. And I always say that most of the time, tradition, what do they say about it? It's peer pressure from the dead that you have to do it this way because this is the way we do it. And when you ask, why do we do it this way? It's like, because it's always been done this way. So some people get into the mindset of, I have to do it this way because it's always done this way. This is just the way it's done. And if it's not working, it's because something I'm doing wrong, not the system. It says, move beyond the limitations that have been set for you by family members past and present. Know that the energy of your spirit is more powerful than genetics and behavioral patterns. The Elder is an ancestor who comes with a message of healing change. He is the embodied soul, yet he has had journeys that go beyond the physical. Therefore, he represents a reclamation of your power. When he appears, it's an acknowledgement that you have the capacity to move beyond the limitations that have been placed on you. If you have had expectations of success or failure, sadness, or even sickness placed upon you by your family, what that burial mound card says sickness on it, and loss and mourning. It's important to know that you are here to make your own way. No, create your own story. This card represents personal healing that will bring healing to your family lineage, past, present, and future. So know that you will get to decide what you take on. And also know that your ancestors are rooting for you and are sorry for any setbacks they have created for you. That's one thing that people forget. When a person dies, all the shit that they were in this lifetime gets purged. And when the soul goes over, it's cleansed. Okay, it's not brand new, but it's returned back to its original light, its original vibration, its original brightness. The prejudices and traditions and ideals that we have in this life, we may have contracted to come in and experience, but it's not who that soul is. So that's why they was saying they want to release you from patterns that they had put on you while they were alive, because tradition tends to it tends to live just for its own sake. There's a saying I've heard a lot recently, especially with the politics, that it being very what's the word, polarizing. It's been really separating family and friends. You're deciding who is in your collective by, the morals they have, the values they have, the traditions they keep, the ideals they keep. And a lot of times, one side or another will say, how could you let me go? How could you cast me aside? Blood is thicker than water, meaning they want you to stay in that toxic relationship with them. What is that? The burial mound, burying something toxic. They want you to stay in that toxic relationship with them because it validates who they are. The thing that people don't want to remember about that quote unquote, I think it's a verse. I don't know if it's found in the Bible. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Blood is thicker than water. They always say that blood is thicker than water, and you shouldn't give up on your family, and you shouldn't abandon your family, and you shouldn't let politics or money or this person in your life, you shouldn't let anything get in between family. Here's the key to that Bible verse that I'm going to let you in on. The real verse is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So they like to pick and choose what they want to tell you, so that it'll keep you bound in this relationship with them. But what it means is that your path, your walk with the Creator, meaning your fulfillment of your soul purpose, is more important than the family you come from. So if they are doing or part of something that you cannot vibe with, now I use vibe and it's a very kind of low frequency word, but if there is something happening that absolutely does not sit right with you, you don't have to be part of that anymore. And staying in that low toxic vibration, low toxic binding relationship is actually keeping you from fulfilling your purpose. So your promise to the Creator. I'm going past. I'm not religious, okay, and I am definitely not Christian, and I'm not any of the Abrahamic religions. I just know the Bible kind of well. Your promise to the Creator And the Creator's promise to you about your soul purpose is the covenant. That's what it means. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. You are released from these toxic traditions, okay? I know that got a little heavy. Sometimes the messages aren't all, you know, flowers and rainbows and shit. Sometimes with the soul work, it gets kind of deep. So there is a situation here that somebody in the collective, or maybe the collective in general, I don't know who I'm talking to. If it resonates with you, this resonates with you. There is something that needs to be put to rest. Something that you need to let go of, wash your hands of it, put it in the tomb, put it in the grave, bury the hatchet, whatever, pour salt on it, make that protection ring around yourself so that it cannot be part of you anymore. A lot of times with this elder card, I hear things like, I release you from that shit. I release you from that. Because they're not, it's only experienced here on Earth, on this 3D plane. None of this dogmatic bullshit that we go through here, none of these rules, laws, traditions, dogma, guidelines from religion, guidelines from family, none of that shit exists on the other side. It's all just bullshit that we go through here. And when we try to live our passion, our purpose, our destiny, our journey, and we're constricted by those things, the elder card comes through and says, fuck all that. I release you from that. I don't hold those things to anymore because they don't exist here anymore. It's just words. So don't feel that you're bound to that bloodline, to the traditions of that bloodline just because you come from it. Okay? I hope that resonated with somebody. Let's get some final little oracle messages here. Maybe lighten it up a little bit. These are sitting on top of the fairies, so maybe they got some. Oh, who's coming in here? We got a hitchhiker. We got a hitchhiker from the fairies. Let's see who this is. Hang on. Let's see who this is. The feline. Yep. Unkept promises, unfulfilled duties. Duty. Loose ends, annoying details. This is something that comes in. Oh, I hate this guy. I'll show you it in a minute. This is something that comes in. I hear Squidward. I hear his voice, not his demeanor. Well, yeah, his demeanor. I hear his voice in this card one, because look at this guy. Him creeping around the corner going, "Where are you going? Where are you going? You've got something you need to complete." So this comes in. I can't believe we got this straggler. You go over here. Because it's like, here we are, we're talking about going on a new path, we're talking about releasing all these baggage and traditions, things that keep us bound, in toxicity, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna go forward, and here he is, peeking his head around the corner, see that? Where are you going? Sometimes this comes up, the fee, there's a fee to pay. That's what I get from this. You still have you still have an obligation. I heard you still have obligations to pay. See that? Oh, what a creep. I can't believe he came out. So definitely keep an eye out in the energy for things that try to come back like that, where you're ready to forge a new path or go somewhere emotionally where you want freedom, and then there's this nagging sense behind you going, oh, but you still have this to do. You can't leave because, Oh, I mean, well, that's to be expected. Put things right before you move on so that energy can't bother you. Whatever you have to tie up, do it. If it's clearing debt with someone, if it's mending a bridge, if it's closing a door, if it's asking someone for forgiveness, if it's making something right, do it so it's not hanging over your head, because this is the energy of something hanging over your head that um, it hinders your progress. Hands of fate. The divine is at work. Forces beyond your control are in play. The fairy godmother, star energy. This is Aquarius. The sun and Mercury are in Aquarius, and Pluto has just moved into Aquarius. Blessings, healings, new direction, renewal, finding your way, and a wish is now possible. Oh, okay. I don't know why they had me pick that, but I did. We have, it's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. And we have the belonging you seek is not behind you, it is ahead. See, that's talking about leaving those old traditions behind. Okay. Last one to fly out. We've got tea. Chisme. Gossip, news, visitors, catching up, information, conversation, the grapevine, and hot tea. They're They told me that has to do with your past loved ones. So I feel like some in the collective will link up with deceased ancestors, friends, loved ones, siblings, anybody that may have meant something to you that has passed on. I feel like they may have messages for you in the dream state. It's like catching up. Yeah. Oh, and visitors. That's why. Because when I said visitors, they showed me like energy visitors. Okay. Catching up information. So this could be, if this has to do with passed on loved ones, this could be download something from a dream. Maybe you find something in your belongings that you guys wrote back and forth to each other years ago. There is that Six of Cups in reverse, but this could also be just people coming in um, and giving you some information, some kind of. This is also just like friendship, conversation, catching up. This could be with a family member that has something to do with the deceased person, where you guys kind of link up and catch up, and then you have this wonderful conversation in remembrance of the person that has passed. And in that conversation, you might get some sweet message where the other person is like, they really did support you in what you wanted to do. They really did like the art you were making. Or Grandpa once told me that he really thought your singing voice was beautiful. Or your aunt said one time that that skirt that you made in home ec that you sewed all by yourself was one of the prettiest things she's ever seen. Something to that effect. You might have a conversation with someone in the next week or so where you catch up and you start reminiscing about someone who's passed on. And that message was they really loved that time that they spent with you. They're showing me a mom and a daughter sitting in the kitchen, and mom is brushing your hair, and your aunt or something you might catch up with an aunt or a cousin or something, and the message is, um, mom used to tell me that those times when she would sit in the kitchen with you while you did your homework and she was brushing your hair are some of the nicest times she remembers. She loved that time with you. And with it's something really warm and beautiful like that. And that is meant as a message from that past loved one that they want you to continue on your journey. Don't worry about any structures or traditions that you may feel like you are bound to because of them. Okay? Release all that. You are free. They are gone. They are pure. They are happy. They're watching you from the other side. None of that bigotry is there anymore. None of the disease is there anymore. They are pure souls in light, in joy, watching you, and they want you to live the journey. I'm getting goosebumps. They want you to live the journey that you came here to live with their blessings. That's what I've got. I'm going to close it off right there. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I'm going to be back later today with the Moon and Leo reading, and then maybe tomorrow with some love reading with the fairies. I can't believe the feline came out. Hitching a ride. This feels like guilty feelings of I still have obligations that I have to maintain. Where do you think you're going? He says. Don't even listen to that bullshit. Oh, hang on. We've got one more card here. We've got 999. Angel number 999. Completion coming. Aspects of a situation are coming to an end. Preserve and purge. Thank you guys. Oh, now I got the hiccups. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope that resonating until I see you again later on today or in the next couple days. Okay, thanks. Bye.